Pleasure now to be joined here by seven-time All-Star and former National League MVP Dale Murphy here at Legion Field in Danville. And Dale, welcome to Danville. Do you remember the last time that you were around rookie ball?
Well, it was a while ago. As a matter of fact, I started in rookie ball in this league. I don't think Danville was in the league. Could have been, but I was in Kingsport, Tennessee. So it's been fun to be here, and it's fun to see the young kids. You forget how young they are.
What have you been able to impart on these young kids so far, and what kind of wisdom have you been able to pass along to them at this point?
Well, I'm just getting to know them, so I'm not telling them too much, except that I did tell a couple of them today. If you're doing better than me if you don't feel like quitting and going home right now, because when I signed, I was so homesick and I wasn't doing that well, and all the way from Portland, Oregon, and it's just an adjustment. I told them it always gets better, and obviously the competition's better. Just everything is out of your routine for whatever you've been doing for probably most of your life, but that it does get better. And some of them are going through adjustments. Some of them made that adjustment really smoothly, but this is a profession that you got to be tough and make adjustments.
Been around the Braves organization for a long time. Give us an idea of what you're doing now to help the ball club.
Right now, I'm just doing some part-time things, seeing some of the kids, and then I just give them my opinion. And then I do some PR stuff in Atlanta for the Braves. So, I enjoy it. It's fun, and maybe I'll start doing a lot more, maybe some more full-time stuff.
Heard you on a few radio broadcasts, doing some things with the network as well. Is that something you enjoy doing?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot harder than it looks, I'll tell you that. It's fun, but it's not easy to get what you're thinking out there quick, make it sound good, don't stutter, and all that stuff. So, but I enjoy it.
I read a couple of quotes about you from a couple of folks. One, Joe Torre, that said that you're the perfect player, father, son, and husband. I also read another quote from Don Sutton that said that you're the only guy that he knew that could legitimately call 24 other guys in a clubhouse his good friend. To hear those kinds of quotes from those people, what does that mean to you, first of all, and then what kind of teammate did you try to be?
Well, those are, really nice quotes, probably exaggerated, but I'll take it. I think that's an interesting thing about being a professional baseball player is you literally come from all over the world and all different backgrounds, and just try to respect each other, help each other, and be a good teammate. That's really what you remember, really, is your teammates. You kind of forget individual games and things like that, and obviously some are more memorable, but over the course of your career, it's really the guys you get to hang out with.
You got to experience the playoffs once with the ball club in the early 80s. What do you remember about that year?
Well, we didn't do very well. Got swept. It was only the best out of 5, and got beat 3-0 by the Cardinals, who went on to win the World Series. So it was fun. It's amazing to think what the Braves did there for all those years, getting into the playoffs, 14 consecutive years or whatever it was, because that's impossible to do. It won't ever be done again. Just getting the chance to do it once was a big thrill. I just wish we did better.
Yeah, when you look at the young players that are coming up now in baseball, and you think about Bryce Harper's of the world and Jose Bautistas and so forth, you think about guys that played the game the right way, and you're one of those guys that clearly comes to mind. But everyone now talks about unwritten rules in baseball, and where do you think that applies to this generation now, as far as some of the unwritten rules and guys that play with a lot of flair and flash? How do you think that applies to this generation?
Well, I think we need more flair and personality out there. I think in the old days we put such a tight lid on it that nowadays we need to draw more young kids to the game and show those personalities. And there's always a line that gets crossed. Everybody kind of knows it, but that doesn't mean you can't have some fun out there. I think it was Joe Posnanski who said, a writer that said, this young generation, this generation now wants a chance to write their own unwritten rules. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because back in the way back, you couldn't do anything. I remember when the high five was invented, and it felt way too flashy. You're in the dugout giving each other high fives, and it was in the dugout. You didn't even think about doing it at home plate in front of the pitcher. We need a lot of young kids looking at baseball and saying that looks like fun, and I'm okay with showing some personality.
Is that the best way to draw in some of the younger crowd now? I mean, you hear Rob Manfred talking about trying to speed up the game a little bit and doing things like even limiting pitching changes. Do you think it's maybe just as simple as letting the kids go out there and have fun?
Well, that's part of it. I think we need to show them that it's a fun game, because it does get a little too long. I'm all for speeding it up. I don't like some of the talk about limiting pitchers. That's changing the whole nature of the game. I think there's a whole bunch of dead time we can figure out how to speed it up. So I'm happy with speeding it up. I think we ought to play 2.5 hour games. I think 3.5 hours is not appealing to this generation. We really like our nostalgia and our tradition, but I think being progressive and willing to change and try things is good, because we have a lot of competition for not only the viewing public, but kids playing soccer, lacrosse, hockey, as well as obviously basketball and baseball. There's, basketball and football. We just, need to be, a cool, fun sport. It is great once you get in it, and we're producing some good ball players, but there's no question about that. But it'd be good to have more, and it'd be good to get some of these big athletes that I see playing in the Olympics that are playing volleyball. I'd like to get them
out there at first base, right?
That's right. So, yeah, I think we got to be a little more willing to try things and a little bit quicker to try them, and keep improving the game.
Last thing here, do you regret not being able to finish your career in a Braves uniform?
Well, not really. I regret not being I left in '90. They went to the World Series in '91. Right. So I felt like it was time to move on. I had great experience in Philly. I didn't play that well, and then I had a short stint in Colorado, and that was a blast. But I knew that, and I always felt I'd be remembered as a Brave, and I'd always be linked to that organization. So, very seldom, we can sit here and start naming them, and that's how few times guys have stuck with their, team the whole time. It's Chipper, Jeter, and there's a few others, but it's the small minority. So, that's just really the nature of the game. I had a good experience moving to other places and seeing what things were like.
Well, Dale, we certainly appreciate your time. Wish you the best here in Danville. I hope you enjoy your stay, and I look forward to catching up with you again here real soon.
Thank you very much. Like I say, it's fun to got some good prospects here. It's fun to see them play. Thank you.
7-time All-Star and former Atlanta Brave Dale Murphy with us here on dbraves.com.